For every loved Hashira, there is one who is hated by everyone, starting with the Wind Hashira, Sanemi Shinazugawa. We are first introduced to Sanemi at the Ubuyashiki mansion, where he stabs Nezuko to prove that demons and humans can never coexist, only for him to be headbutted by Tanjiro. But that moment pales in comparison to what he does next. Not only does he stab Nezuko again, he even cuts himself open, using his rare Morechi blood to try and tempt her into losing control, just to prove she's still a monster. And it's not just demons who feel Sanemi's wrath. His brother, Genya, becomes a target in the Hashira training arc of the 4th season.
You've eaten demons?!
His training sessions are brutal, causing many students to drop out. And of the few students who stay, many collapse, bleed, and get knocked down. But the worst of the treatments is saved for Tanjiro and Genya. He nearly blinds Genya for confessing that he had been eating demons and resorts to beating up Tanjiro when he tries to defend him. And when his fellow demon slayers try to restrain him, Sanemi snaps, fighting through everyone just to land another blow on his brother. But while Sanemi was always tough on his students, Giyuu always showed love and affection to Tanjiro, going as far as pledging to commit seppuku if Nezuko ever harmed a human, a shocking declaration that stunned even the other Hashira.
In the event that Nezuko does assault another human being, myself as well as
Tanjiro Kamado and Giyuu Tomioka will atone by committing seppuku.
Though he often comes off as emotionless, Giyuu's stoic personality hides something deeper: survivor's guilt. Back during his final selection, he watched Sabito, his close friend and far more talented peer, die protecting others. Giyuu passed the trial, but never felt like he deserved it. That guilt remains, leaving him distant and unsure of his own worth as a Hashira. It's also why he wears a two-piece kimono. Giyuu was the first person to believe in Tanjiro, sparing his life and sending him to Urokodaki for water-breathing training, a path which would help Tanjiro later exact his revenge on Muzan Kibutsuji. Unlike Giyuu Tomioka, whose stoic personality has made fans love him, Mitsuri's bubbly personality has instead alienated fans of the show. The problem with Mitsuri isn't necessarily with her personality, but with how she's portrayed in the series. She's introduced as a bubbly, kind-hearted girl with incredible strength, a striking contrast that could have made her one of the most interesting Hashira. But instead, she's often reduced to comic relief, crying easily, or being used for fan service. The most obvious issue is with her uniform. While every other character gets practical combat clothing, Mitsuri's outfit is basically designed to show off her cleavage and as much skin as possible while leaving little to the imagination. And this is only made worse in the Swordsmith Village arc, where we get our first real look at her.
Tanjiro, it's you! It really is you!
Watch out! Not this close to spilling out!
In the same episode where she's shown naked in a hot spring and obsessing over food, she's also expected to lead the charge against one of the most terrifying upper moons, a tonal whiplash that left a lot of fans frustrated. Is she supposed to be comic relief, or one of the strongest warriors in the Demon Slayer Corps? In contrast, Shinobu is loved for being the mother of the show. From caring for Zenitsu after his battle with the spider demon son, to adopting and raising Kanao after the loss of her family, Shinobu Kocho is one of the most beloved Hashira in the series. She also runs the Butterfly Mansion, a place for wounded demon slayers to rest, recover, and retrain after intense battles, like in the Entertainment District arc. Without her presence and medical expertise, the story of Demon Slayer would have been quickly done, and many key characters wouldn't have survived long enough to face Muzan. Despite the tragic loss of her sister at the hands of Upper Rank 2, Shinobu is still very nice to everyone, and is one of the few people that Inosuke deeply respects, aside from Rengoku though, saving her anger only for the demons for whom she has no mercy. Despite her small frame and soft voice, Shinobu is one of the strongest Hashira, able to stand against Doma, a demon with over a century of killing experience. And she eventually pays the ultimate price of allowing herself to be consumed to take him down. She gave her life not out of hate, but out of purpose, so others could live long enough to finish the fight she started. Rest in peace, Shinobu. Unlike Shinobu, who is often seen as the mother figure of the show, not all father figures set a good example. starting with Shinjuro Rengoku. After Kyojuro's death, Tanjiro visits Shinjuro's home to pay his respects and deliver his final words. It is here that we meet Shinjuro, who not only assaults Tanjiro for being a sun-breathing user, a term that both Tanjiro and the audience were unfamiliar with at the time. This sets a poor impression for viewers. At first, fans hated him for his cruelty, but as the story unfolds, we start to understand the pain behind his actions. Shinjuro was once a respected flame Hashira himself, but after his wife's death and the revelation that sun breathing is the original and most powerful technique, rendering all others inferior, he descended into guilt and self-loathing. Especially after abandoning the role, his son would eventually die fulfilling. And by the Entertainment District arc, fans begin to warm up to him as he informs Tanjiro of what the mark on his head and Hanafuda earrings meant, while also apologizing for his previous actions. But while some fathers took time to move from hated to loved, Grandpa Jigoro Kuwajima gained that love from the very beginning.
It's all right to cry, or go off by yourself. Just don't ever give up. Believe in yourself.
Although not his biological grandpa, Jigoro Kuwajima, the former Thunder Hashira, loved Zenitsu like one, believing in him when no one else did. Despite Zenitsu running away, crying all the time, and not being able to master any technique other than Thunderclap and Flash, he still showed faith in him and believed in Zenitsu more than he believed in himself.
You can only do one thing. Hone it to perfection.
Grandpa Jigoro is the kind of grandpa that we all wish we had. However, while Jigoro tends to treat his disciples with great care, the same can't be said for Haganezuka's relationship with Tanjiro.
I'm sorry! I promise I'm truly sorry!
Although technically not a Hashira, Hotaru Haganezuka's deep ties to them make him one of the closest non-Hashira characters in the series. He's widely disliked across the Demon Slayer universe for being hot-headed, so much so that clients totally refuse to work with him. His lack of skill in social situations means that potential love interests also avoid him, and causes other swordsmen to steer clear of him. In fact, his parents, Ma and Pa Haganezuka, handed him over to the village chief when he was 2 years old due to his frequent tantrums. But beneath his wild temper is a deep, obsessive love for swordsmithing. Every time he chases Tanjiro down for breaking another blade, it's not just anger, it's heartbreak. His swords are his life's work, and every broken blade feels like a personal failure. That love becomes clear in 2 major moments. And again, when Gyoko invades the swordsmith village, and Hotaru, covered in wounds, keeps working on Tanjiro's blade, refusing to stop even as his life is at risk.
Damn him! I've never seen such razor-sharp focus. He's so immersed in what he's doing that he's still unaware of me. Even I've never concentrated this hard on one of my pieces. As an artist, I can't help but feel inferior to him.
While Hotaru expresses love through rage and relentless pursuit, Kyojuro Rengoku guides Tanjiro in a gentler, fatherly way. Rengoku's love for those around him is never understated. He inspires Mitsuri to create her own unique breathing style, encourages everyone he meets, and sadly pays the ultimate price to protect the main trio. But his warmth didn't come from an easy life. Rengoku came from a troubled home, with a father who suddenly abandoned the title of Flame Hashira, and a mother who passed away when he was just 7 years old. With that kind of childhood, no one would have blamed him for turning out cold or bitter. But he chose the opposite, choosing to don the role of Flame Hashira and protect those who couldn't protect themselves. It's no wonder why in their moments of bravery, most Demon Slayers tend to remember him.
That's to behead the both of you, simultaneously! Am I right?
Even Akaza, an upper-rank 3 demon with over a century of battle experience, was stunned by Kyojuro's strength and spirit, so much so that he offered to turn him into a demon just to preserve those qualities.
Kyojuro, you must know this wound will kill you! Save yourself! Say that you'll become a demon! Can't you see?
And in his dying moments, he offers advice to not just the main trio, but his father and his brother. Rest in peace, Kyojuro Rengoku. Obanai Iguro, on the other hand, did not immediately become friends with the Kamado siblings. He remained deeply skeptical of them, going as far as holding Tanjiro down while Sanemi assaulted Nezuko in the Ubuyashiki mansion. His crush on Mitsuri also makes him deeply critical of Tanjiro, especially given that she treats him like a little brother.
I've got a letter for you
After training today, I sat down and had black tea with Tanjiro. Tanjiro's so cute!
He is also deeply critical and harsh towards the other demon slayers, which we see at the end of the Entertainment District arc when he scolds Tengen for praising Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke, while also ridiculing Tengen for having fought the weakest of the Upper Moons. Many fans also hold it against him for showing up late to the Entertainment District, noting that, had he shown up earlier, the battle would have been wrapped up quickly and Tengen wouldn't have lost an arm. Speaking of Tengen, he's one of the few Hashiras who actually extend a hand to the main trio. From the moment he crashes into the story, quite literally kidnapping Aoi and trying to borrow some backup wives, Tengen Uzui makes one thing clear: he's flashy. But beneath the bling, the bravado, and the glam rock headband is a surprisingly thoughtful and self-aware man. A former shinobi raised in a brutal family where his siblings were forced to kill each other, Tengen grew up in a world where strength came before everything. But unlike his family, he rejects that ideology completely. Instead of seeking power, he chooses to protect, especially his three wives, Makio, Suma, and Hinatsuru, who are his entire world. And despite all the talk about being a god of flamboyance, Tengen is one of the few Hashira to openly acknowledge his limits.
Yet you're saying I'm special? What a load of crap! Do you have any idea just how many lives have slipped through my fingers?
In the Entertainment District arc, he puts his life on the line to fight two Upper Moons at once, and still tells Tanjiro and the others that they are the ones who will surpass him. He's like that one loud gym bro you think is all talk, until you realize he just benched a literal demon while bleeding out and cracking jokes. And unlike some other Hashira,
Obanai,
Tengen never hesitates to give credit where it's due. He praises the trio's performance even while half dead, earning both their respect and the audience's. He may have retired from the battlefield, but not from our hearts. How would you rank the Hashira?